Today's topic is the behavioral patterns of girls who grow up without a father. The behaviors or the behavioral patterns of girls who grow up without a father. How do they behave? What are the tendencies? What are the trends to look out for? What are the peculiarities and what are the challenges these girls face? There are two categories, just like with the boys who grow up without a father, or maybe they had a father there, or they have a man in the house, but it was not really a father. He didn't act as the father. He didn't, establish the girls. He didn't give the lady or the girl what she needed as a little girl. He was not there for her as a father. Especially important is between the age of 3 to the age of 7. Between the age of 3 and 7, a father must be there to give that girl confidence, to give that girl acceptance, to give that girl affirmation, to give that girl's assurance, to welcome her, to give her the confidence that she needs, and to notice in her the beauty or as a personality, to identify in her identity. That identity has to be pulled out from the girl. Somebody needs to look at her and not see her body, but look at her as a child and tell her, Catherine, you are beautiful. So it is Catherine that is beautiful. It is the Catherine that is inside that is beautiful, not your body that is beautiful, not your dress that is beautiful. So because if a girl is not giving that affirmation of her own personality, of her own individual self, if she's not giving her dignity, her self-worth, when she was a baby like that, the whole world would dictate to her. She will believe the world. She will believe the lies of the world. And the lie of the world is that you are defined by your body. You are defined by how beautiful you are. You are defined by how tall you are, or how fat you are, or how much backside you have, or how much front side you have, or how much long leg you have, and all kind of things. So those are terrible stuff, because those are things that change. Those are things that come and go. So if a girl is not defined and affirmed in her personality inside, she will be looking for that affirmation for the rest of her life. And that's why a woman wants to marry. And the reason a woman needs to marry is because she needs a father that will, be affirming to her our worth, that will be affirming to her our value, that will be affirming to her how precious she is and how unique she is. And that's what husbands are supposed to do to their wives and with their wives. But unfortunately, most men don't even know this. Most men think that they marry just to have a partner, or just to have a partner, mainly a sex partner. And that is unfortunate, because woman is not looking for sex. Any woman is not looking for sex when she marries. Even if she thinks that she's just looking for a husband, but behind her mind, in her subconscious, she is actually looking for a father that will continue to provide for her protection, a father that will be the pillar for her, a father that will become the foundation for her, a father that will continue to affirm her, to establish her, to lift her, to support her, and to touch her. So this is the kind of father that every woman is looking for, and that is the reason women are looking to marry. Okay, yes, women want to have children, but children is the second or third position. But first of all, she needs that protection. She needs that identification. She needs that acceptance. She needs that affirmation for herself. But when the girl is not having that father, today I'm going to lay more emphasis on the passive girl. There are two categories of girls: the passive girl and the active girl. So, I spoke a little bit more about the active girl yesterday, even though I was speaking about the two of them. But today I'm going to speak more about the passive girl, but I'm going to speak about the two of them. So, I'm going to mix everything together. But there are two categories of girls that grow up without a father. The first category is the category of more outgoing girls, more active girls, more, proactive girls, more bold girls, more aggressive girls, girls that are more outwardly expressive. They are extrovert, and these are girls that you might go and listen to the message of yesterday morning, and then there is this second category of girls that are more quiet, more withdrawn, that are more passive, and that is what I will be talking more about today. So they are not the active ones, but I will be talking about the two of them at the same time. So what are the tendencies that we see in girls that grow up without a father? First of all, those guys lack confidence. Both of them lack. They might not show it, especially the active one. You might not see it immediately that they lack confidence, but inside them, they lack that confidence. There's something that is lacking because that confidence was not instilled in them by their father. Number two, these girls, they have some kind of complexes. Especially, all of them, all the girls that grow up without a father, especially the second category, because if the first category, she's having her complexes, but she tries to use cosmetics to cover them up, and to, she tries to put herself forward to show forth some of her other strength. She tries to put forward loudly something else that she has, in opposed to something that she does not have. But the other ones, the passive one, would rather go to depression. She sees that complex that she's having as a big problem, and she thinks everybody is saying it. So she goes into hiding, and she becomes quiet and reserved and withdrawn. But the two girls who grow up with the two categories of girls, those who grow up without a father, they actually have these complexes, and most of the time, most of them think they are not beautiful. Most of them think that they are not beautiful, and in search of their beauty, they want affirmation from men. They want somebody to tell them that they are beautiful, not just that their body is beautiful, but they want to know that they themselves are beautiful. So they are looking for opportunity. Now, for the super active girl, she would display that need more loudly. She would display that lack of something, that are complex, and she will, some of them will almost go to the extent of telling somebody that can you be my boyfriend, or can you be my father, or can you be my this, because they just need it. And when they see people that they think they could be able to pay attention to them, they go after such a person. And but with the passive ones, the passive girls, even though they have that lack and they have that that desire and that complex, they are always feeling that they are not worthy. They are always feeling that they don't deserve that attention. Even though they might see people who they might like, or people who might give them that protection, that father, but they are not as outgoing as the first category. They will just be thinking, oh, what about if the person rejects me? And because of that fear, the fear of rejection, this second category, most of the time will not act, and she will be more depressed, and she will be more sad, and she will be more close to herself, because she's afraid that that again somebody will reject her. She's always afraid of being rejected again and again. So Nkiru Ojimadu said the link shared on Dr. Sunday Adelaja page for this live broadcast is not the right one. Hence, few people are on board. If Kate is there now, or Joshua, or anybody, or Pastor Natasha, please, can you take the link for this program as it's going right now and go and share the link? And all of us can also share the link, but somebody needs to go and share it on my Dr. Sunday Adelaja big page. So I hope Catherine is doing it now. Go and do it again, please. So, like I said, one of the challenges that these girls are facing most of the time is they think they are not beautiful. And the reason they're thinking they're not beautiful is because they see everybody around them talking about beauty. They see that everybody is talking about girls, and even girls among themselves, they are comparing themselves to each other. And the criteria they use to compare to each other, one another is beauty, is that the physical body criteria. And so these girls, even if they have good body, even if they are beautiful, even if they are having something else that other people don't have, they don't believe in it. They don't believe that they are good enough. They always look at the things they don't have. They always pay attention too much to what they lack, and they pay attention to what other people have that is better than them. Okay. So they always make the right assumption and the wrong assumption about themselves. They pay attention to the wrong things, and they don't believe in what they have. Now, the reason why that problem is there is because if the father had been there for them to pay attention to their inner being, to their inner person, to their inner value, their inner quality and worth, and that inner person, that father would have made her to realize that she is not a body, that she is not how she looks, that it is you inside that is beautiful. And so it doesn't really matter how your body looks. It doesn't really matter how your body is. But the fact that you yourself, you are the one that is valuable. You yourself, you are the one that is precious. You yourself, you are the one that is. So because that was not there, these kind of girls easily get swept off their feet, easily get carried away by thinking that really it is their body who defines what defines them, that they are actually what they are outside, and they begin to believe that yes, it's true. Maybe that's why I'm neglected, or maybe that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, or maybe that's why nobody is coming to me, or that's why people are not loving me, or maybe that's why I don't have a boyfriend, or maybe that's why nobody loves me. And they always have another challenge apart from the fact that they say they are not beautiful. They always have another thing to struggle with. They always find it difficult to believe that somebody loves them. That is a major problem for all the categories of girls that did not grow up without a father. If you did not grow up if you did not grow up with a father, it doesn't matter if you are active or you are passive. They all struggle with that fact that they are really loved. It's difficult to convince them that you love them, or that they even don't believe that they are loved. And sometimes they don't even believe that they love themselves. Sometimes these people even find it difficult to believe, to even love themselves. And they always see one problem or the other with themselves. And they always think that they do not deserve that to be loved. Even if they are good enough and they deserve to be loved, but they think that they don't deserve the best, that they are not good enough. And that is all coming because there was no father in their life. Like I said, they might have a father there physically, but that father didn't play the role. That father didn't affirm them and didn't convince them of their uniqueness. So they are thinking that they are not beautiful enough, they are not good enough, and they are looking for somebody every day, everywhere, to affirm to them that their significance, that their relevance, and that they are beautiful. And of course, they are looking for that person in a man, because it is a man's affirmation that they lacked. It is a father that they lacked. So even though their mother might be telling them all those things, but they don't hear their mother. If they know it in the head, they know the words that the mother says, oh, you are beautiful, you are this, but they don't take it so serious because they think, but it's my mother. What do you expect? That is just, no, she just has to say what she has to say. And so that is why they need a father to affirm that to them. And sometimes they actually go, and that's why they, go from a man to a man. They are looking for that affirmation. They are looking for that acceptance. They are looking for that love and that covering. Now, if we talk about the girls with the active, more active girls, they, like I said, they try to pay attention, to pull attention to themselves, either by the way they dress. So that explains why women dress, openly and vulgaric, and some of them become promiscuous, but not because they are promiscuous, not because they are, they are sheep or they are this. It's just because they need that attention. They are begging, they are asking for that attention. Can you believe it? Let's talk about girls that are promiscuous. I have one of my girls here, a member of my church here, that wrote a book, When You Cannot Live and Yet You Cannot Die. The book is called When You Cannot Live and Yet You Cannot Die. I think it's in English also, from Tatiana Galushka. When You Cannot Live and Yet You Cannot Die. Tatiana Galushka, she's one of my members. She is, the book was translated to English. Listen to this testimony. This girl, of course, she never had a father, but at the end of the day, between the age of 15 to the age of 30, she slept with over 1,000 men, because she was working as full-time professional prostitute. So she slept with like 1,000 men. But that's not even the most important thing I want to say about this. Despite the fact that she slept with 1,000 men, you know what shocked me? This would shock any man. What shocked me most? I mean, some of these men were elite men. Some of these men were members of parliament. Some of them were millionaires. Some of them were, were people, on the top. Some of them were, but I mean, all kind of life she had lived. She had traveled in the planes, in private planes, in presidential planes, and all that. But you know what she said at the end of that? When she came to church, you will not believe it. This really surprised me. After 1,000 men, she said, Pastor, my greatest need is to be loved. What? I'm looking for love. Out of 1,000 men, you couldn't find love? Nobody loved you? She said, Pastor, you don't understand. I want somebody to love me. Shock. Unbelievable. Because sex does not satisfy a woman. Sex does not satisfy the need, the love need of a woman. Sex does not fulfill that love. Sex is not love to a woman. Sex is not love. She was having sex with men. Men were having sex with her, but they were not loving her. They didn't know how to love her. Sex is not love. Sex is not the same as love. Sex is just something for the body. But she needed something apart from her body. She needed herself to be loved. She needed her to be loved. She needed somebody to notice her. She needed somebody to pay attention to her. She needed somebody to receive her, to love her. She wanted to be accepted. She herself is what is needed. She wanted people to pay attention to her. She wanted somebody to accept her, to cuddle her, to take a liking to her. I said, but you were having sex with them. Why were you having sex with them? She said, because I needed to do it. So I said, why were you able to take all that? She said, only under drugs, only drugs. She told me there is no woman. She has a whole book. There is a whole, maybe the book is on the internet. Maybe the book will be on the internet. Tatiana Galushka. That's the way it's written. So, but she said no woman can be a prostitute without using either drugs or alcohol or without numbing herself. She said if you don't numb yourself, you will run mad, because it is not natural for you to be a prostitute like that. So that's what I'm saying, that the mistake, even some of the girls think, because she at first used to think that if she would give herself to the boys, that she would receive love. So she didn't know. She was one of those girls that were deceived. She thought also that sex was love. So she was thinking that if she gives herself to this man, she will be loved. I mean, she will feel that love. Then she did it with the first person, she didn't feel the love. She did it with the second person, she didn't feel the love. She even got pregnant. She thought, okay, if I get pregnant and I give birth to a child, the thing will go away. The love will be, the need for the love will be met. So she gave birth to a child, but she still didn't feel love. So she left her child with her grandmother and continued doing her prostitution. So then so it's like an empty vacuum that sex doesn't fill. So she was trying to have many more men, but they were not feeling that. The more she had them, the more empty she became. Then she got to understand that, oh my God, so I just need one of these people to accept me, to love me. Not just my body, not just live with my body, but to just love me. So that's what I'm trying to say, that girls who grew up without father or mother, they might have this problem, they might have this challenge. But one of the ways to really fulfill and to really cover for this, of course, is to have a mentor, or to have a mother figure or father figure, or somebody that you can really follow, somebody that you can really copy, somebody that you can really emulate, somebody that you can really, pattern your life after. Another thing that you might want to do is to find a calling. You must find your calling or your destiny, your life purpose, and that might fill that emptiness as well. So like I said, some girls try to do things like that are wild, like, undressing themselves or going to dance striptease or going to do prostitution, because they are thinking that kind of attention they are getting from dancing or from prostitution or from being on the stage will bring them that fulfillment. But it happens in the church also. A lot of those girls without a father, they are the ones you see on the stage. They want to be praise and worship leader. They want to be the assistant to the pastors. They are the ones you see who are trying to do everything, or they are the quiet one who are in the kitchen in the church, or cleaning the house, or just doing anything that anybody tells them to do. But some of them are also trying to show, because they want that acceptance. But while you have some who are ready to shows off something, to display themselves, their abilities, and some of them do it by being on stage, some of them do it by looking for men, some of them do it by wearing loud makeup, some of them do it by dressing vulgar, different things that some will be ready to do. But there are some others, girls, that are the opposite. They are not bold enough. They even go to the other extreme. The quiet ones, they don't even do makeup, because they are just thinking they do not deserve it and nobody will look at them anyway. Or they dress, but they dress in such a withdrawn way, in such a conservative way, and because they are afraid somebody will not understand them well, or they do not deserve anyway, that they are not good enough. They don't even know how to dress properly. And so is the opposite, something that they might have. Even when they have the right one, they still, some of them eat a lot, they eat too much, and they become fat, especially these quiet ones. And some of them, on the opposite, they suffer from anorexia. they do not eat, or they don't want to eat, or they suffer from bulimia. These are some of the things that people suffer from just as a result of this complex that they have inside. This fight to be accepted, this fight to be loved. These are some of the things they suffer from. So either they are eating too much, or they are not eating at all, or they are just, too fat or too slim. But the quiet ones, those ones who are quiet, they are, what do you call it? All of them, all the girls that grew up without a father, they have a high sense of, they are easily offended. How do you call that? They are vulnerable. They are easily offended. So girls who grow up without a father, they are easily offended. They are easily offended. They are bitter, and they could be bitter inside. They could be angry inside, and it's easy to offend them, even when you don't mean it to offend them, even when you are not. Nothing evil was meant, even when there was even no reason to be angry or to be offended. So you see that some girls, they are insecure, and they are easily offended. They are provocative. They are sensitive. Yes. So so they themselves carry a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negativities in their mind. So when you do something that affirms and confirms their negative thoughts, they got offended, because they are always reading meaning to whatever you have done. So either they are going to expect you to love them absolutely, which is impossible, right? There is no unconditional love, and there is no absolute love, right? But they are expecting, because there is almost nothing you can do that will satisfy them. And because you do something wrong, or you do something that is different a little bit from their expectation, they are going into depression, or they are reading meaning to it, and they beginning to act out what you have not done yet, but what they have already thought in their mind, what they have already acted out in their mind. The ones they cry a lot, especially the ones who are quiet, the quiet ones, they just go and withdraw. They withdraw into themselves, and they begin to cry. They cry a lot. Some of them even cry without you seeing their tears, but they are crying and they are sad. Because they are carrying pain in themselves. They are carrying pain in themselves all the time. Unfortunately, a lot of these girls are frigid. What does that mean? Frigid. I'm sure all of you know what it means for a woman to be frigid. Is it frigid you call it? I think frigid, or frigid. I think it's frigid. They might be active on the outside, but in the bedroom, the reason they are frigid is because, for a girl to relax in bed and to be comfortable with sex, you still need to give her you still need to give her some level of love. So even though this girl is ready to sleep with you, she's ready to sleep with you, and she's sleeping with men, but she's not totally relaxed. Sex for a woman to really relax in sex and to can you imagine that girl that told me that she had 1,000 men? She never experienced orgasm, for example. She never experienced orgasm one time. Because for her to experience orgasm, she needed to be there. But what she was doing with that kind of sex is that she was rather numbing herself and removing herself from there and, going away. Because she was, after 1,000 men, she was still not able to experience orgasm. Because for a woman to experience orgasm, she needed to be truly loved. Her body might respond, her body might be responding, she might be acting, because she told me that she was acting a lot. And she said all the prostitutes are actors and they are actresses, and they have to act because they know that that's what the men need. And I also heard that there are some women, there are some wives who are not even prostitutes, that they just act also in sex. They act it out for their husband. They pretend. They play along, and they act as if they are enjoying it, as if they are, so as if they are having orgasm or things like that. But really, they are just acting it out, and they are just faking it. But they are feeling bad inside at the same time. So for a woman to really enjoy sex and come to fulfillment in sexual life, she needs to be brought to this fourth level of trust and relaxation. And that is the fourth level of orgasm for the woman. But otherwise, it's difficult for her. It's difficult. That's why some of them are frigid. Because they needed to be loved freely. A woman needs to be truly loved. And to be truly loved, that means she needs to feel covering. She needs to feel protected. She needs to feel accepted. She needs to feel totally trusting and trusted. She needs to really have trusted and totally surrendered. She needs to be totally trusting. She needs to really throw herself into the arm of that man. And for her to do that, she needs to really totally believe and trust and know she has accepted enough of protection, enough of love, enough of adoration, enough of So, and when you are doing prostitution, people don't give you that at all. They don't give you that at all. They just use you. Well, they just use you. Another problem with these kind of girls, especially the quiet ones who are not expressing their feelings outside, some of them become suicidal. Especially the girls who have that pain and who have been carrying those pain for so long, and who are not throwing and expressing their pain through prostitution or through going from men to men, and who are not expressing their frustration through drinking and all that. Sometimes they just end up committing suicide. Now, let me tell you another area, and Holy Ghost just told me this now. I didn't know this before, but this is true. I just got it from the Holy Spirit right now. Another thing that women who grew up without fathers, or maybe the father was there physically, but the father was not present. He was not a father. Another thing that happens to those women is that because they don't experience that real love, another way they try to cover up for that love, to attract that love for themselves. The way they try to cover in that love is that they try to compensate. Yeah, that's the word. They try to I'm sorry. There are a whole lot of women that try to compensate for this lack of love, for this lack of acceptance, for the lack of affirmation, for the emptiness that is inside. They try to compensate it. You know why? How? Some do it through prostituting. It's not because they are doing prostitution. We should not use prostitution as something bad. We should look at it as something tragic. Something tragic. It's a tragedy. They are. It's a tragedy. So we shouldn't use it as a condemning thing. We don't condemn them. We should rather look to love them out of it. But anyway, those who don't do prostitutions and those who don't know how to attain that fulfillment any other way, the one way that they get to do that is, listen closely, women who grew up without fathers, especially the quiet ones, the ones that lack the willpower, and even some of them that are the lousy ones, they try to compensate for their lack of love and lack of father, lack of acceptance by giving back to children in series. by giving back to children, giving birth, getting pregnant, even though they know they are killing themselves by getting pregnant so much and by giving birth so often. Because when you are giving birth so often, your body is not recovered yet. But that to them at least is just like the prostitute. You know what the prostitute does is that she numbs herself and she just keep on going through the motion, and because that is just the way for her to survive. So a lot of women also do the same thing. Their own is not prostituting, but is getting pregnant and giving back. Getting pregnant, because by getting pregnant and giving back, they are at least distracted to do something else. Because the pain inside them is stronger than even the pain they are feeling when they are giving back. The pain that is the pain of emptiness, the pain of lack of love. Can you imagine a woman, for example, whose husband is beating her, and everybody knows about it, the whole village knows about it, the whole town knows about it, and he's beating her, and is an abusive husband, and still she's giving birth to children almost every year, every 2 years, or every year, or every 1.5 years. She's getting pregnant and giving birth. She's getting pregnant and giving birth. Even though she's crying and she's weeping, the husband is beating her, everybody knows. I mean, she's supposed to run, but instead of running away, she's getting pregnant again. You say, why? Because that is her own saving junction or saving corner. That is our own saving anchor. So there are women who are giving birth to 5 children, 4 children, not because they love children so much, and not because they don't even know what they are doing. Some of them just do it automatic. Some of them just, not because they have planned it out, or not because they have strategy, not because they have some serious intention, just because, that is one way they are also trying to win the love of their husband. Some of them is a safe haven for them. It's one place to hide into, and because some of them, it is only when they give birth that they are celebrated. Some of them, it is only when they give birth that they see some joy, because they see the baby come, and it gives them a little bit of relief and a little bit of joy. Some of them, it is only when they give birth and they are pregnant that they escape the torture and the sorrow of their everyday rejection and everyday lack of love. It is only when they are pregnant that they have an excuse. It is only when they are pregnant that, the weight around them is, at least they are distracted doing many other things rather than distracted thinking about themselves and thinking about their rejection and thinking about the things that they lack, and about their husband that is not there, and about their suffering and things like that. So when you see women giving birth in series, and giving birth to children and over children and upon children, and some of them are even praying to die in the process of God giving birth. Then some of them are praying to die because some of them don't want to live, and some of them, they don't want to kill themselves also. Some of them, the only way for them to die is by giving birth, die with honor, and to leave this world is to die. But then the problem they also run into is that once they begin to give birth to all these children, they begin to be afraid to die also, and they begin to be afraid to leave their husbands, because they are now afraid of leaving all these children in the hand of the wrong woman. Every woman is always afraid of the wrong woman, of the other woman, and so that fear also is keeping them alive, and so a whole mess. The biggest bet for a girl that grew up without a father is to find a calling, fall in love with God, fall in love with that calling, and just fulfill herself and realize that calling. That is the best thing, because a man will not give them that thing. And I don't know, in my own lifetime, I've not seen more than, maybe 10 of men that really understand what it means to be a father and to be a husband, to be a true man. I've not seen more than maybe 10 men that understand that. Men normally don't understand this because they've never been taught. Men normally don't even know how to make a woman feel covered and to feel protected, and to help her cover for the emptiness and feel to give her the covering that is needed. So unfortunately, anyway, like I said, many people want, do you want me to say more today? So I'm going to continue. A lot of these ladies, especially the ones who are not lousy, going to do prostitution, dressing, and looking for discotheque and nightclubs, like the active girls, they are releasing their pain through living an active life. Discotheque, nightclub, boys, drinking and active, and maybe church in morning till night. So that way they hide their emptiness and their lack of acceptance. But the other ones, the passive ones, they are always closed in themselves. They are always withdrawn and introvert to the fault. And they talk less, because for them to talk, they need to be sure of acceptance. For them to be extrovert, the environment has to be right. The environment has to encourage them. The environment has to release them. They have to be ecstatic for them to begin to express themselves. Otherwise, they are full of insecurity and fear of not being accepted and not being, or being rejected. These girls don't like to be rejected. And rejection to them is worse than for ordinary people. So when they are not sure of total acceptance, they will talk less because of these complexes. But they talk to themselves. They talk in themselves. They have an active life inside themselves, but not outside. Because they are always afraid of somebody seeing them for who they are. So they are hiding who they really are. They are afraid of somebody seeing their challenges and their emptiness or their nakedness, if you want. They don't want anybody to see their complexes. So they are always worried. They are always worried about other people's opinion. Pastor Sunday, the way you teach is always so thorough. Yeah. It's so thorough. Well, that's what I see, that it's not always you find teachers, especially in churches, pastors that could teach you so thoroughly. And, people just touch on topic and run through it and just rush it. But, that's why this platform, thank God for it, I'm able to come on and keep on, developing a topic until I really thoroughly give you full understanding. So you will know that you have total, full understanding of the topic. A lot of these girls, especially the passive ones, they don't like to go out. They don't like to socialize. They don't like to go to parties. They don't like to socialize. They don't like to dance. They don't like to, unless they are drinking, or unless they force them, unless, since something special has to happen. But some of them could be brilliant, though. Some of them could be brilliant because they are always on their own. If they are taught well, or if they are guided well, some of them will rather use their solitude, their emptiness and their loneliness to study. So when they study well. They become very brilliant. They become good students. They study well, but they would like to be on their own. So like to be withdrawn. They like to be in the house. They like to do their own thing. And they only like to keep a very close circle of friends. The only few people they bring into their world. They don't allow too many people into their world. Unlike the other category of girls, the first category that are always looking for expression, always looking for people to help them, to keep them alive, to keep them happy, and to keep their world going. But these other girls, they live like this: house, work, or house, work, school, or house, school, shop, or house, work, shop, and things like that. Yep. On the other hand, especially these girls that grow up without fathers, they're hardworking. They could be hardworking. They could be hardworking if they find a leader. They could be hardworking if they find a goal. They could be hardworking if they find something to live for, because they're always trying to express themselves and to realize their potential and to prove themselves. So they could be hardworking, really. Even though they might not be always fair to themselves that they have done well enough. They might not always be fair to themselves that that they are good enough in what they are doing, but they try to do the best they could do. Yeah, and sometimes when they do anything good, they want somebody to come and affirm them, to come and praise them, or to come and tell them how good they are doing. They want somebody to appreciate and acknowledge their efforts. And when people don't acknowledge their efforts, sometimes they could get discouraged, especially the second category. And the first category also, they start and stop, and they don't really finish what they start. And the other ones also could get discouraged and withdrawn and become withdrawn again, or stop doing something, or they don't want to do anything again. They have changing moods also. Their moods could be changing from time to time. So these ladies, if you are married to them, it's important for you to always let them know how much you love them and that they are loved. You need to constantly tell them how valuable they are, how loved they are, how, it's a full-time job to be married to these ladies, because you need to, always, prove to them that they are important and they are loved, and and that they are received in your life. Now, let me see my time. Oh my God, I have so much more to tell you. Anyway, let me quickly tell you, who do these people marry? How do they choose their partners? Who do these girls without father normally marry? The ones who are active and fast, and the ones who are withdrawn and introvert. So who do they marry? Who do they marry normally? Who do they marry? First of all, the active girl is up for some reasons. When a girl is without a father and she's active and aggressive type, active type, unfortunately, most of these girls, how do I say it? Most of these girls, unfortunately, fall in the hand of weak mama boy, or what do you call it? Mama boy or mommy boy? Or is it mommy boy you call it? Yeah, mommy boy. Unfortunately, that is the kind of people they marry. I'm talking about the fast, the strong ones. The strong ladies always marry the weak men. The strong ladies, the one that is really strong character, the strong lady always marry the weak, the mama boys, the weak men. The men that are passive, the men that don't have strong character, the men that might be good, in they are good. Everybody is saying they are good, but the woman knows that he is nothing, he is empty, he's not having what it takes. He cannot give them what it takes, because it's not a strong man, it's not a visionary man, it's not a man with a purpose, it's not a man with a drive. But unfortunately, a lot of these women that are strong, that are trying to get something. Most of these women are hardworking. They are trying to get something going for themselves. Most of these women might be professionals. Most of these women, even though they are without father, but maybe they have worked hard. They have, because of their hard work, they have attained something in their career, or they have attained something professionally, or they have grown up in life because they have worked hard. Especially if they were Christians, they didn't go through the way of prostitution. They didn't go through the way of discotheque or nightclub. So they have worked hard. They have been able to commend themselves and become somebody in life. And now they want to marry. They choose a man, and the men that are attracted to them normally are these men that need a mother, because the mama boy mentality is that they need a woman who is strong. They need a woman who is stronger than them. They need a woman who they could look up to as a mother. They need a woman who is strong, and they want to follow that woman. They would rather be taking advice from the woman. They would rather be following the woman. They would rather expect the woman to lead. But that is a big tragedy for any woman, because any woman wants to follow a man. Any woman wants the husband to be the one to lead. any normal woman wants to be married to somebody who is in charge. They don't want to be the one in charge. Even though everybody is accusing women of trying to dominate or something, but really it's not their nature to dominate, believe me. It's not their nature to dominate. They might become dominant when the man, like this kind of baby boy, mama boy now, when they don't take responsibility, when they don't do what they're supposed to do, then the woman is left with no option than to dominate, than to take responsibility. To take responsibility. But on the other hand, let's talk about the second category of girls now. The passive girl, the withdrawn, the passive one. Normally the people that are attracted to her is the aggressive men. The aggressive men are attracted to the passive, quiet girl. So he is aggressive and he is attracted to the passive girl. And the passive girl always is attracted. She wants to marry because she is looking for a father also. She's looking for a father, and she's looking for somebody, for a man that is strong. She's okay. Sometimes she will marry somebody who's older than her, or somebody who's totally stronger than her, and which is okay. But the problem is that sometimes if that one that is stronger than her is without a father also, and if it's aggressive without a father, he will just use her as a slave girl. He will just dominate her. She will just become like a slave to her in that house. She will be doing everything, and she will still be happy herself. She will even be happy that somebody has taken her. And let me show you one photo of the first category of girls and boys. So this is the active girl here. You see the active girl? She's the one riding the boat. She's the one rowing the boat, you see? She's the one rowing the boat. And the boy is just enjoying himself. The boy is just riding all along. The boy is just enjoying himself, isn't it? What else do you expect him? Sit down, relax. And the girl is doing all the hard work, taking responsibility. She's rolling it and riding, strolling it, rolling it. And, but it's not because she wants to be the leader. She's not, even though she might say she's happy doing it, or she made herself happy doing it, but that is not the natural place for a woman to be. It's not a natural position. It's not the natural place for a woman to be, while the man is sitting down there and is enjoying, just looking at how she's working to make money. She's taking the responsibility. She's carrying him on her neck. That is not the joy of any woman. No woman is ever happy with this kind of life. A woman wants to be protected. A woman wants her back to be covered. A woman wants somebody to take care of her. A woman wants somebody to, Europe mentality. It's not because it's a mentality, it's because of the Europe, as they have destroyed men in Europe. Unfortunately, yes, European men are not now like this, and the women happen to be the only ones. These are the mama boys, because that is the active girl, strong girl that could do something for herself. And now, because she needs a man, she's carrying the man on her back. She's carrying the man on her back, rolling the boat, and the man is just enjoying himself. He's just enjoying the ride. Enjoying the ride. Okay, a man here is asking, this is a typical man's question here. Why is she doing all that? Is she securing something for herself or securing her asset? Why is she the one leading? Why is she doing it? See, men still don't understand. It is because she's doing that because nobody to do it. She knows that if she will not do it, the man will not do it. The man will not go to work. So she has to go to work. And if the man doesn't go to work, he doesn't suffer most. She suffers most. Because as a woman, she will need to dress, she will need to wear, she will need to take care of herself. She has more responsibility for the home. She will need to take care of the children. She will need to send them to school, wear clothes for them, buy. So a woman is forced to do it. And the man is saying, why isn't she doing it? Let her not do it now. Is it because she wants something for herself? No. It's because she she is left at the wall, because if anything happens, the man will leave and go and find another woman, and she will be left alone with a baby in her hand. That's why she's doing it, not because she likes to do it. I am a little bit introvert, but I am more attracted to soft people, men and women. They appease me more. Yes, the reason for that is because the withdrawn ones, the more withdrawn ones, they are attracted to more soft, like Paul is saying here, like Flair is saying here, they might be attracted to more soft people, men and women. And the reason for that is because they are afraid of being hurt. It's because they are afraid of being hurt. Flair is because of fear that the aggressive ones will hurt you. But I'm talking about right now, not in friendship. Yes, that is in friendship, definitely. The quiet ones and withdrawn ones want people like them who are withdrawn also, who are quiet and who are soft. That is in friendship. But I'm talking about marriage now. And in marriage, they normally want somebody who is stronger, who is, who they could see like a father, who will probably do, or sometimes they marry another man who is soft like them, and that is the problem, because when the girl like that is withdrawn and soft, and she is wanting soft, and that that could lead to, sometimes that leads to not homosexual. For the men, it's homosexuality. What about for the woman? It is lesbianism. That could lead to lesbianism for some of these girls, and many of them suffer from women marrying women as a result of that. But I'm just telling you the general tendency anyway. This might not work for everybody, or for some people it might be 50-50. Some of the qualities might be there, some might not be there because of different things that maybe they were taught or they were showed, or different situations happen in life. But these are just general characteristics that I'm giving right now. So why is it that these women remain with men like this who don't take responsibility? And why is this that the woman will begin to be the one to take all the responsibility to work, like the woman we just saw now roving the boat? It's because she, first of all, is afraid of losing him. Let's face it. The woman is always, the woman like that is without a father. Once somebody pays attention to her, once somebody tells her they love her, or once somebody proves to her that they love her, or he loves her, she is holding on to him with all her life. She is ready to do anything to hold on to him. She's ready to sacrifice herself because she's afraid of losing that person that has now shown her that he loves her. Because she's been looking for love all her life, and now she saw almost like the last hope that this one is telling me she loves me, that he loves me. Oh, I better don't lose her. I better don't lose him. I would rather do anything not to lose him. That is the problem. And for her not to lose him, she is ready to do any compromise. She's ready to go and be the one to go to work, to go and be working. She's ready to feed him. She's ready to carry him on her back. And it's sad, but that is what complex could do without a father. And another thing is that if she's having a child or she's having children, she is afraid of being left alone with the children. She's afraid of being left alone with the children. So she becomes a mother to him and becomes a mother to the children as well. But she begins to, unfortunately, these women that are without fathers, they become the mother to their husbands, especially if that husband is the soft and withdrawn and quiet one, and the mama boy. And she becomes the one to be making the money, to be working, she will be washing his clothes for him, ironing his clothes for him. Can you imagine a woman ironing and the clothes of the husband, washing it and ironing it for him, as if he doesn't have hands? If he cannot wash and iron for himself, let him get a maid to do it for him. Why because I wonder why she should do it, because she has to still do her own too. And she probably has to still wash the clothes and iron the clothes of the children also. So then what was he doing then in the house? But unfortunately, these women, because they don't want to lose the family, they are afraid of losing the family, they are afraid of what the society will say, they are afraid of what the relatives will say, they are afraid of what he will say, they are afraid of him getting annoyed, all kind of thoughts in their mind. And that makes them to, that make them to want to remain, there. So, unfortunately, a lot of men take advantage of that, and they begin to suck this woman. They just begin to take advantage of her. But sometimes she wants to also have the mentality that I am married, that I am able to retain a family. Because of the complex that is been following her all her life, she wants to prove to her family, she wants to prove to her girlfriends, she wants to prove to everybody around that she's able to retain a family, that she has a good family. So she's doing everything for the family to work. She wants to prove that she's a successful woman, a successful married woman, and she's a successful wife. And so she's hiding all the suffering that she's going through, so that people will not know that she's going through that suffering. And, she will be doing everything by herself. While the husband is just passive and doing whatever he wants to do. And for her, the most important thing is that she's married and her family is doing well. So she begins to live for the family, instead of her to live for her destiny, for her calling and her future. So as a result, this kind of women just become slaves. They become slaves, and they fall into depression sometimes, or they fall into low self-esteem. But at the end of the day, this is not just destructive to the lady; it's also destructive to the man. It's a destructive model of living for both man and woman. In some cases, especially with the quiet ladies, with the quiet and withdrawn women, in some cases, even the husband might be abusive. The husband might be beating her, and she will still not go. I'm laughing because either I will cry or I will laugh. She's still not going. She will still not go. And I know this is very sad, but the reason I'm laughing is that I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, ladies. So the husband might be beating her, abusing her, oppressing her, but she wants to hold on to the family because she's just afraid of what will happen now. If she's this kind of girls are always afraid of divorce. They are always so afraid of divorce that to them it's like divorce could be the worst thing. Not because God said it though, but because of the consequences. They are always afraid. So they will rather endure all kind of abuse. They would rather endure all kind of beating and all kind of shame, but they would not like to leave the family. And some of the husband might be drinking, or might be being with other women, and might be having affairs or mistresses, but she will still stay with them. She will still stay in the house, and she will be thinking she is to blame. So if the husband of such women go to marry, not to marry, but to have mistresses and to be dating other women, she will be thinking I'm to blame, and I'm not worthy anyway. I'm to blame. It's my fault. I'm not fat enough, or I'm not slim enough, or I'm not beautiful enough, or I'm not do. and this and that. So unfortunately, that the thing that a woman needs to do is to discover who she is, to discover herself, to discover her calling, and to just be in love with God and with her calling, and to be less relaxed on things of the world and on the physical things. Also, another thing that happens in this kind of family, and another thing that happens in this kind of families is that most of the time the men take advantage so bad and so much that they break the will of the girls. They want to break the will of the woman and make her to be submissive. They want to, submit her by all means, especially if she's strong. Especially if she's strong and she has strong will, they will do everything to frustrate her, and so that she's totally, and especially the aggressive men. The aggressive men do this a lot. The aggressive men, they might even bring their relatives to help them break the will of the woman. And so the woman thinks she's nothing. If I leave here, nobody will take me. If I divorce him, who will marry me? Nobody will marry me, especially if I have children. Yeah. And like somebody said, I think it was Paul David who said it the other day, that a lot of women in prison in America and all over the world, they are in prison because of their men, because they got so bad. Because when you oppress a woman for too long, she might lose it one day. And when she loses it, the thing she might do will surprise everybody. So many women are in prison because they kill their husbands, or they kill their lovers, or they did something so horrible because they have been oppressed so much. So especially when they have been quiet so much, one time they will just lose it and they do the horrible thing. So it's impossible. I mean, it's not a good thing to break a woman. It's not a good thing to break a woman and to break her will. Yeah. And another problem with the woman is that even when she's trying to take responsibility and she's working hard, and it's never easy for a woman to work hard, to provide for the family, to do everything, and but then they will still begin to accuse her of being a matriarch or whatever they call it. To be that she wants to take control of the family. She wants to put the husband under her feet and things like that. But on the other hand, the active men, to their credit, most of the time they are successful men. So they are credit, but the active men have money. They bring in money to the house, but they just want the woman to be a housewife. They just want their woman to be a housewife. And at the same time, while they want the woman to sit in the house and to be a housewife, they themselves might be having affairs left, right, and center. They might be having many women everywhere, but they want the woman to just sit at home, and they will be pointing out to the car they bought or to the furniture they bought and say, is that one not enough for you? What do you want? You are my wife. I've done that. They don't expect her to talk at all. And even though it might not be helping her at home or doing anything to help her, but they will give her everything, and but for her silence. And she just has to be at home taking care of the house and giving birth. That's why the strong men want the weak girls who will have less resistance and not fight him. So unfortunately, in both cases, the women, suffer. The women suffer. So the real thing that women are looking for at the end of the day is a father. A woman is looking for a father. A woman is not looking for a marshal or for somebody to bring money for her. She wants to be loved. She wants to be covered. She wants to be accepted. Every woman wants you to notice her, not just her body, not just her body. Every woman wants you to notice her as a human being, to love her for who she is, to cover her, to be a pillar for her, to be a foundation, to be a protection, and to just be there for her, to just give her that warmth and acceptance. That is the greatest need of a woman. That is the greatest need of a woman. She's not even too much interested in sex or even in the woman. The woman is not, in children. The children are not, it's not a first priority. Our first priority is to be covered. Our first priority is to be loved. Our first priority is to be supported. Our first priority is to be covered so much that she would not even feel that she didn't grow up without a father. So the greatest need of a girl and of a woman is to have a father who will be able to have patience with this kind of girls, and who will be able to be there for her, who will give her affirmation, who will give her confirmation, who will give her covering, who will give her friendship, who will give her companionship, who will give her romance, who will give her sense of worth, who will give her self-esteem, who will cover for her weaknesses, who will not use her weakness against her, who will point her to who she could become, and help her to maximize her potential. That is the kind of man every woman needs. And if you're a man here today, that's the kind of man that we all need to be. To our women, to our wives, to our daughters, to our mothers, to our sisters, and to every woman around us. Well, thank you, everyone. God bless. Bye.